And lastly, others don't understand where we're coming from. So I want to talk a little bit about that. There's a quote that I love, which is from George Bernard Shaw. The problem with communication is the illusion that it has occurred. And that we think, yeah, they're on the same page. I mean, I told them. I went through this. And we've made 85 connections until we got to that conclusion. And we show up and we share 2 connections in the conclusion, and we're not sure why people aren't on the same page as us. I communicated it, but we didn't communicate everything. So this is going to be 8 key places to clarify your thinking, clarify your team's thinking, so that you can be better at communicating. The first 3 that I'm going to take you through right here are what I would call the background of the situation, the build-up, how we got to where we are. The first is the situation. This is the facts of the situation you're facing. The reason why communication is important, the reason why you got to where you are. I'm going to give you an example here. This example is not technical. This is at the executive level of a corrugated cardboard box. So really out of probably the realm of anyone here working corrugated cardboard. Next, insights. So here's the situation. The situation's data. The situation is just what's happening in the world. The insights are what are we taking from that situation? So what have we learned over the past weeks and months that we consider to research this solution? So this is again turning data, situation, and insights. And then the third piece of information and background is the implications. So we have these insights, but what does that mean for us? What does that mean for our organization? What does that mean for what we're doing? Well, I'll take you through an example. The situation, our growth in this division has stalled. The market is getting tougher and tougher as business is being shipped overseas and price pressures are squeezing our margins. That's what's happening in the market right now. That's the situation. As we look at that, we talk about it, what insights does executive group pull from that? Well, we have really strong relationships with food companies who need high-value solutions they can't get overseas and who are willing to pay a premium for our services. We're going to commoditize everything. All these basic boxes are going to get shipped overseas. But craft foods needs these really intricate special things. Let's focus on craft food. That's the insight we have. We have a competitive advantage. And the implications. It would be smart to retool our operations to focus squarely on delivering the solutions for food companies where we're uniquely qualified to win. That means we'll have to cut out our other lower margin businesses. So the implications are we've got to make some strategic choices here. So all of these background information, what do you think one of the biggest problems, this is coming from a senior executive group, but this can work up, this can work down, this can work in any stakeholder engagement. What do you think one of the biggest problems in communications is here? None of this stuff really gets shared right? The strategy shows up. We're going to go down this path, we're going to do these products, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and here's the 5 things we're going to execute. Well, how did you get there? And it's shared partially, it's shared in pieces, it's never shared at all. And we're all often very bad at this. This is that communication blind spot I was talking about. We spend 3 weeks, 3 months, a year in the data, looking at stuff, thinking about this, and all of a sudden, us and our team, pop, this is it. This is what we should be doing. This is the direction, this is the reason, this is it. And we go to someone and go, we got it, here's what it is. And someone looks at you like, huh? Well, how'd you get there? Well, and we don't do a good job at taking people down. Here's what we're looking at. Here's the situation we're looking at. And we saw this, and we saw this, and we saw this. And then we had a conversation. And the insight we took away from that was if we could only do this, it would have a really big impact. But then we questioned this. Then we had another conversation. And what we realized was the implications are we've got to do this. That's really effective, and that brings a stakeholder along and has them understand, got it. Now they can get behind you, and they know where you're coming from. The next is the plan, right? What are we going to do? So these come down to 2 things, vision and strategy. And specifically when I talk about vision here is, given all those implications, given all those market forces, given what we think we're good at, where we can win, all that stuff, what do we see on the horizon for us? What's our vision? And then given that vision, what strategies are we going to put in place? So vision and strategies are kind of an overused word in business these days, unfortunately, so it tends to mean everything, nothing at the same time. But when I'm talking about vision here, I mean really, after looking at all that stuff, what do you see out there in the next 3 years? 3 months, whatever it is. So in this example, well, our vision is we will be seen as a creative leader in delivering solutions to food companies. By having a niche focus, we'll be able to anticipate and proactively address customer needs faster than competitors. So that's our vision. We're going to be a creative leader in the food space, right? So in and of itself, you can imagine the executive team popping that up on the screen, and without having shared a lot of that background, people say, either, how'd you get there? Or, great, is this another new flavor of the month? Or, I don't really understand why, but I'll do it, okay? And you're not bringing people along. And then the strategies, well, we'll need to build a stronger creative marketing services expertise, which they didn't have, I know this company, and retrain and hire sales staff with the knowledge of the food industry. There's some strategic decisions we have to make. What is strategy? Strategy, in its most simple form, is how do we deploy our limited resources to win? We don't have an unlimited set of resources. We've got to make decisions. And here's how we make those decisions. Situation, insight, implications. Here's our vision. Here's our strategy. And we've got only so much time, only so much money, and we're going to deploy it here. Here's why. Common problems in communicating, it's too vague or it's not compelling. Vision or strategy is just too vague and not compelling. And lastly, these are kind of a set of things that talk about benefits and also the ask. So in any good communication, there's an ask at the end. There's a, and here's what we need, right? So the first one is what's in it for you, and that's the payoff. We're talking about all this complex situation, insights, implications, background, this new strategy, and change is hard and it's going to be painful. And if you're talking up the line to a group of executives, you might not want to back this one. You've got a lot of other things you're backing, but I'm going to tell you what's in it for you. We've thought through this, and not only what's in it for you in that kind of sterile, the company will do better, but like if you're really understanding what their priorities are, remember a couple slides ago, you can frame the what's in it for you conversation to nail what's really in it for them. What you should be talking about is whatever they shared when you asked them what has you sit bolt upright at 2 a.m. What's in it for you is you'll be not sitting up sweating as much. Guess how you get buy-in really fast, right? And what's required from you, and that's the ask, right? What I'm going to need from you, and have an ask. Have a clear ask. I'm going to need your support in this way. We're going to need this. Can you get behind it? And the next steps. Great, perfect. So the next step, we're going to do A, have those next steps ready. We're A, B, C, D. Don't wait to come back and wait for the next steps. Hit the iron, straight the iron all the time. So this is, again, this is a little bit different because this is kind of big town hall meeting. Senior executives saying this. These changes are going to help us survive as a company. And with this, what's in it for you? This company literally was, you're going to keep your job. That's what's in it. So that might not be the same what's in it for you that you guys are talking about, but it's more than that. You'll be able to feel like a part of a winning team again. You'll deliver high value and creative solutions for customers. What's required from you? This change is going to take a lot of effort. The hours will be long at times, and every turn we're going to need your commitment and honest feedback in order to get better. The next steps. In the coming months, we'll be sharing a more detailed description of the strategy with you. In the meantime, the pilot team's already working on solutions for a few customers, and we should have results from those projects to share this month. The problem in all of these is it just isn't explicit enough. Right? It's not explicit enough. What do I actually get from this? It's not explicit enough what's required from you. And it's not explicit enough what the next steps are going to be. It's left as, we're going to push forward, all right? And people say, okay. And everyone goes away, and then it's not pushed forward, and something happens, and everyone goes, knew it. Knew it wasn't going to happen. Could put my finger on it.